GRI, TCFD, ISSB, and BRSR, and automated data aggregation. The solution that they've built enables organizations to move past their current manual processes and achieve audit-ready disclosures quickly and efficiently. The focus today will be on encouraging organizations of all sizes to take the first steps towards disclosure, both for progress and also in the future perfection. So without further ado, I'm going to be introducing the two panelists today. We have Dr. Sunil Kumar K, who's the co-founder and managing director of SAM Corporate, and we have Deepika Chawla, who's the head of APAC for SAM Corporate. If you could give them a big round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me clearly? Should I be louder? Okay, cool. Welcome to the first day, first show at the Singapore FinTech Festival, where we are kicking off with rallying the ecosystems on the Greenprint stage. I think what we're going to talk about today is the unsung heroes of the SME chain, of the sustainability chain. We're talking about those food trucks that deliver to the hawker centers. We're talking about the logistics company that's trying to work about their most fuel efficient route to get your goods to you. We're going to talk about the manufacturer that created this beautiful Lego blocks from recycled plastic. These are the unsung heroes of the sustainability chain because they are making all the effort and their impact is huge. I am Deepika from SAM Corporate and I'm really grateful to Greenprint for giving us this platform to talk about what we are doing. Clearly Greenprint is a lighthouse in how we should be doing sustainability reporting and we share the same ethos with them. So thank you Greenprint. I've been in Singapore for the last 15 years and I've grown to love this city in nature. Not only for the things that people talk about, cleanliness, safety, but more for the ecosystem that's created with the public-private partnership. I think businesses over here are allowed to not only thrive, but scale within the region with the help of platforms such as Greenprint. With me here is Sunil. He's from another part of the world, which is also growing at a hyper-growth scale. More from capital inflow and capability inflow. And I also learned yesterday that they have the largest solar panel farm in the world.
In Abu Dhabi.
There you go. Yes, it is. But you're from the Emirates, right?
That's right.
So Sunil, you've seen this journey in many organizations as you have taken them from 0 to 1 on their sustainability path, covering both Europe, Middle East, and India. So maybe you can shed some light on what you're seeing on that side of the world.
Well, good morning all of you. So let me start with an interesting story. So when we were doing a project for a large logistic company in Dubai, and I asked them, how do you see sustainability? They showed me a picture of a recycle bin. So I think we still relate to those recycle bins as a sustainability. From there, every story is very interesting. Every organization looks at sustainability with a lens, which can be green, red, orange, pink. You just can't imagine the shades it has. So you can define it the way you want. If you talk to CFO, he says, oh, this is operational because it brings me operational efficiency. It saves cost. You talk to a CEO and he says, it helps me in expansion, in positioning my company, goodwill. If you talk to an operational manager, he says it's a nightmare because I don't have the data. So everybody looks at it in a different way. Interesting, very interesting dimension, but in this entire chain of sustainability, who is the biggest contributor? The biggest contributors are SMEs, which we undermine, which we really don't value, which we really don't understand and acknowledge. 70% of emission is from SMEs. Only 30% comes from the larger corporate where we focus, where they spend billions of dollars. What about SMEs? They are also part of our ecosystem. They are a part of the value chain. And that's where I think Greenprint and us, we are value contributors to that. So Deepika, I think we have to acknowledge, and I'm sure you have more data points than me, about SMEs, how they are critical in the sustainability space.
Absolutely. I think one of the key things we need to remember is all these SMEs also need financing, and the challenge becomes that while there are lots of energy efficiency funds and such available, they're not always able to access those finances. And if you ask them what's the real reason that they can't get access, it's mainly, it's about what's on top of their priority list. How many things can they do? So, there are multiple frameworks that they need to comply with. This is a whole maze that they just want to avoid at the moment. So the intent is there. The intent is there, but it's the challenges in how to do it and why should they do it. Because there is a changing landscape, there are tariffs at the moment, compliance rules are changing around the world. So what we need to do better at it. Is it working now? Okay. Good. So maybe we'll talk about the why, the what, and the how the SMEs can get onto this journey.
Yeah, interesting. So I think if we talk about why, as I mentioned, it has several shades. Why is most important here. It starts with the compliance checkbox. I need to do sustainability reporting because the regulator is asking me to do. So that's where we have a negative push to the entire discussion. Then comes the positive side of why. Why we need sustainability? We need because it brings in operational efficiency. It improves my goodwill. It increases my top line. It increases my bottom line. And if you look at really go deep into that, every part of your balance sheet is impacted by sustainability. Your asset sides are impacted by the sustainability. Your liability sides are impacted by the sustainability. In fact, it's a concept of value add which can really change the organizational value. The valuation of the organization can change if you are really using it in the right way. That's where the whys are important as a first part. Second one you were asking, Deepika, is what? So there comes the whole maze, as you rightly mentioned, different standards, different regulations. There is no single regulation which confirms what is right or wrong. There is no rating. There is no guarantee what you are doing it right or wrong. It's like an examination. You go for an examination, you write an exam, you get a grade, but you don't know whether you pass or fail. So you get your score. You said, oh, this is my ESG score. So what do I do with that? Fine, I have a score. But what do I do with that ESG score? Do I say it's good, bad, not good? There is no benchmark. There is no universal standard benchmark across the world which can certify, which can say you are good or bad. And that's where what is important.
Yeah. So I think before we get to the bit of what, I just want to kind of add on to one of the whys which we are missing out over here. So if we talk about whys, is okay, we need access to financing, to be part of the table of a supply chain. So a large corporate, if you want to be part of their supply chain, you need to comply with ESG requirements.
Absolutely.
And the other thing which is always missed out is customers these days are demanding that they want to work with organizations that are sustainable.
The younger customers, all.
I'm young.
Okay.
And also the employees. I think the younger employees, as you say, definitely want to work with a company who is sustainable and can prove it. So that's where I think we need to also organizations forget that big part of it, because your reputation, your brand value needs to carry that.
Absolutely. I think let's move this direction now of discussion into what are the components here. So the three components of sustainability, E, S and G, are important components here to understand it. All three of them have a different flavor in terms of data collection, in terms of reporting, in terms of how do you wish to report, what it brings the value as. So the E covers the first important component, which is heavily data driven. Your carbon emissions, your energy consumptions, your waste generations, your energy efficiencies. It's all about data, data, data when you talk about the first component of sustainability, that is E. When you talk about S, it comes into more social part of that, which starts with CSR as the first one, then goes into gender, equality, and rest of it. And the G, which is of course the most complex and is heavily dependent on organization, how it reports, is pure governance. The board governance, oversight, investor reporting, relationship, etc.
Absolutely. So maybe one of the things that I really wanted to tackle is an example you had from was it the Middle East, I think, where an SMEs company wanted to, or a bank, or was it a PE fund that wanted to lend green finance, and how did we help the PE fund kind of evaluate these SME vendors? Because we're looking at from an SME point of view, but let's look at it from a financing company point of view.
Interesting. So for a VC, for a private equity, when they are investing in companies, entities, they're required to do a due diligence. The typical due diligence focus on the financial due diligence, legal due diligence, whether you have a good product, whether it will sell in the market, do you have a team with you. But what is missing is sustainability due diligence. I'm putting in my money in an organization. Have I done a sustainability due diligence? So we help the organization in terms of doing a sustainability due diligence. Before you invest, you commit to invest in an organization.
Absolutely. So maybe to the point where we need to discuss the how. How are we going to make it easier? How are we going to help the financing companies as well as the SMEs make this disclosure with minimum effort, given the data chaos that exists that they already have? How do they make sense of that? How do they make sense of the frameworks that they need to comply with? So in terms of the how, this is where everyone stops because they they feel that they need to be perfect, but they need to get started.
You covered the basics.
Thank you.
Some obvious ways then.
Yeah, so I think there is a general feeling that we need to be perfect before we start reporting, and the search for perfection, as we always know, is impediment to progress. So how can we help the organizations to move to that first rung?
I think let's understand, as you rightly mentioned, data is a chaos in sustainability. There is no single data point. The type of data which you collect, the sources of data are innumerate. And that's where I think you need an AI, which is the main agent in terms of enabling how you can do a data collection. For an organization as small as an SME, which doesn't have a budget to do that, which doesn't have a capacity to do that, they cannot spend dollars into this business, but they still need to do that. So AI comes as very handy, as a handy application, I would say. For example, we did a project for one of the organizations where they have handwritten notes in terms of their oil they are wasting when they are manufacturing a small thing, the oil which is wasted. And these handwritten notes we took into an AI engine, use large language model with the RAG capability, read the data directly, push it into the system as an automated.
So AI really is a force multiplier
Absolutely.
in this place.
100x force multiplier.
Because I know people love Excel, and I'm one of those people who love Excel, but obviously there are limitations to it because it doesn't necessarily make life easier for smaller organizations.
We have already assigned 10 minutes. He's after my life. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think there is a requirement to move away from the Excel base to a tool that can help you do it, can help you track the frameworks that you want to comply with, keep the history, provide the transparency and the credibility to the data you're holding.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is where AI is helpful, where you don't have to manually map the data. You can bring in the data, let AI select which regulation will be applicable based on your geographic location, GIS coordinates, and it can also produce a report which you really require to do without manually doing anything. That's the magic we can actually create using AI for SME reporting on sustainability.
Okay, so we got tomatoes out here.
Well, interesting. So I'll tell you a story of this tomato. We have a client in Spain, the biggest tomato grower of Spain, I would say. 1,400 trucks leave every morning from their farms, supplying 70% of tomatoes to Europe. When they came to us, they had a big challenge. They have tomato farms from where they want to collect the data. Now, all these farms are spread across the country into remote locations. And you need to really collect live data from these. And that's where AI and IoT devices are helpful in doing that. Interesting use case for you, Deepika.
Absolutely. I love this. So I think we've understood the why, the what, and the how. I think now we need to kind of unveil the box to the magic that you have that we want to launch today.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So after speaking to hundreds of SMEs, tons of other organizations, we wanted to come out with something which can make life easy for small and medium enterprises without that price barrier. without that entry barrier which they have, where no large corporations are keen. Go to Microsoft, go to SOP, with all due respect to all of them. None of them are interested in SMEs doing something for them. We wanted to do that change along with Greenprint, and we said, let's do a solution here which can make a big difference. So we happy now here to launch SAMESG Lite on this SFF platform at the stage of Greenprint, which is a global tool to allow SMEs to do reporting without fancy or difficult terms and support. All you require is online, go into the application, load your data, press a button, get the report in your hand. That makes a radical shift in what sustainability can do to the whole world of small and medium enterprises.
Awesome.
So as you see, Deepika has been firing a lot of questions to me. It's my turn now. I have some rapid fire questions for her. And let's see how she fares in these. Okay, here we go, Deepika. I have some rapid fire questions for you.
I'll try my best.
Let's see. So, biggest SME ESG data point. SME data point.
SME data.
SME ESG data pain points. Okay, pain points.
It's the data chaos and the complexity of the frameworks.
Almost correct. First step for SME, or for an SME who is unsure about ESG.
Just try measuring anything. Just get one metric, measure it, report it.
Most underrated benefit of ESG.
Access to green finance and a chair at the table with the large corporates to supply chain.
Quickest way to reduce emission.
Quickest way to reduce carbon.
Energy efficiency.
Energy efficiency.
Where should SME start ESG reporting?
Where?
Where?
On the SMESG Lite.
And when?
Yesterday.
Oh, brilliant.
We didn't launch yesterday.
How to convince finance client to use ESG data?
We could be here forever. I'm an accountant. Return on investment, obviously, cost efficiency, and soon carbon will be the new money.
And maybe ROI.
Yeah, our return on investment.
How to simplify reporting complexity?
Use SAMESG.
What is the key metrics banks look for a green loan?
Oh, verified carbon reduction. Verified carbon reduction.
Verified carbon.
Yes.
Okay. One tip to make ESG fun for SME.
Oh, make it a competition. You can start tracking, your carbon footprint, whether you are using car or just make it fun amongst your employees. Do a competition.
How can SMEs benchmark themselves in sustainability easily?
Using a peer comparison dashboard.
Which we have.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. And final advice for SMEs to get started.
Start now. Start right away. Don't wait for perfection. You are already ready. So you can always start today.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Deepika, for your time. I think it's time for us to launch now SAMESG Lite. Here we go.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That don't know where to start? For most small and medium-sized companies, tracking and calculating emissions still feels like a maze. Multiple scopes, too little time, and too few people to make sense of it all. We get it. That's why we built something lighter, introducing SAMESG Lite, designed for teams that want clear emission insights, not complexity. No installations, no endless configurations. It runs on the cloud, ready from day one. Don't have a sustainability expert? You don't need one. Guided onboarding helps you calculate and report your emissions in minutes. And when it's time to report, you get ready to share emission summaries aligned with recognized global factors. Because being sustainable shouldn't be complicated. It should be smart, simple, and secure. SAMESG Lite. Lighter on effort, stronger on results.
Okay, so a big round of applause for Dr. Sunil and Deepika on the first panel of today. A really exciting launch of their new product for SMEs. Up next, we have the most exciting panel of actually our entire 3 days, which is the launch of the SME Barometer. So this is a survey that Greenprint has done with PwC, Sustainability Alliance,